What's up, guys? You guys just got to be kidding me. All of you guys have some crowns in there. I don't know how to get one. I know there's like I mean, as far as I know, it's like I don't know, something that has to do with a leaderboard. I'm just dying to get one. Man, everyone got one but me. I don't know, should I be doing less talking and more writing? Let me know. If you guys understand how does that play, please, I need a tutorial on that. So guys, let me get started with saying that today we're going to do a recap because tomorrow we're going to be taking a look at something amazing, which is going to be the Bollinger Bands. And just for reference, if you didn't know, John Bollinger still exists very well alive, and he's got an X account, a Twitter account, right? So we're gonna also just do a little peeking on his X account and we'll see what he looks like. But other than that, tomorrow we're gonna be taking a look at the Bollinger Bands, and somewhere between Monday and Tuesday, we're gonna have our first invite for the first masterclass of this series, right? Just so you know, guys, right now you should be proficient at understanding basic trading, right? So naked trading, take it charts trading, all right? Let's make that clear. And then also you should understand and be able to combine multiple and different indicators, even creating your own strategy. All right. If you feel that you are not achieving that, let me know. Maybe we can do another overview. But I think we have already 16 chapters and also the practice in between that we've been going from zero to hero. Now it's the part where we are on advanced trading. And part of the advanced trading, it is basically having experts on these upcoming indicators to explain you in depth their perspective and how they traded. All right, so I'm very excited. Maybe between Monday and Tuesday, we have our first invite, our first guest in here in Trading with OC, explaining one indicator. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, let me show you all guys, because you guys are amazing and you guys are, as always, the beans on my burrito, the crema, right, the sour cream on my lettuce, if that is a thing. And of course, the mashed potato on my, what is it, that chicken thing that you eat? What is the name? It just vanished out of my head, man. It is something with K. I don't quite remember. But the mashed potato of that place, fantastic. All right, so I know, I'm just a simple man here talking about food. It seems like I'm hungry. All right, so Alexandra G in the house. What is up, Alexandra? Also, Caliphate in here. We also have Weak Wife. What is up? We have J Violet. What is up? Love the Violet thing. We also have Mr. Chef Crypto. What is up, my friend? Mr. Trade Intuition, the man in the house. What is up, my friend? Who else is in here? Let's see. We have anyone else? Wick's wife, absolutely. I think I already shouted you out, my friend JR in the house. Good evening, Piper Academy. Good evening, JR. Welcome, my friend. Oh my goodness, bro. You've been in every single class for today. If I have a special prize, I'll send it to you. I don't. Maybe when we have some merch, maybe I can send you. What is it that username says that we need to? A hoodie, a Superman tinfoil hat hoodie. Maybe in the future we can do that, and I'll send you one, my friend. It is amazing. You've been in every single class. Appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for stopping by. Who else we have in here that I have not yet shout out? All right, we have Symmetric Shake. What is up? Good day and welcome to you. So let's get it started and let's see how our analysis from Bitcoin went yesterday. Alexandra G, I'll send you 2 of those, by the way, because you are in every single stage of the YouTube, and I love it. That is amazing. That is fantastic. All right, so let's go over and let's look at into my charts. Let's get started with Pepe. Pepe, this is one of the meme coins that we were looking at, right? Last time we were here, and we were expecting maybe a pull to the upside here. Remember, we have plan A and plan B. Looks like both of them actually happened, right? So there's a difference here. And you know that we always do plan A and plan B. There's a little caveat that it just happened that we need to talk about. This has happened before, all right? And I always go over it. but I believe it has gone unnoticed, or at least can slip it underneath the rod. So I want to put some attention to it, right? So let's go ahead and analyze what it happened in here. So we were expecting the price action to go high to the resistance. Did it went up? Absolutely went up, all right? Plan A. What happens then? Well, we were expecting to go back down, find some support, and then push to the upside, all right? Did that happen? Absolutely not. Why? Let me start removing this. What was our plan B? And then we're gonna get back into plan A because they mix and match, all right? We were expecting maybe a right away retracement to our support zone. Perfect. Did that play out? Yes, it basically did after hitting our resistance, right? So we bing, bong, basically at exact points in there, right? So how is that we did not continue with the bullish momentum? Remember that I usually am looking for some structure, and let's visit lack of structure here. Usually lack of structure, it is a very volatile movement. It doesn't hold its ground, all right? So for example, look at here. Big, ginormous candle, perfect, looking strong, showing our strength, right? And then at the same time, next big body candle, and then a retracement candle that everything that we gained, we lost it. Once again, look at how big body candles, rejection on a rejection area, right, tend to just plummet. You see that? So this is lack of the structure because this is for its size, it did not hold or put on enough candles to create an up multiple candle structure and then down multiple candle structure, right? To maybe put in then a higher high. So lack of structure usually ends up on plummeting price action, all right? Let's go and visit a couple of other examples because Pepe, it is just, I mean, full of those, man. Look at here. Big body candle, rejection, what happens? Big body candle to the downside. Big body candle again, and big body candle. At the end of the road, did it hold? No. It was until we put a couple of candles, right, that we start creating the actual higher low. And then couple of candles, yeah, with volatility, but couple of candles that we put in a higher high. And then couple of candles to put in the new high with lack of structure. You see that? Perfect. So what's happening at this point? What did it happen? We went big body candle, perfect, confirm breakout, right? Then the next candle, we hit resistance and plummeted. Big retracement in here. What happens next? Indecision candle, and I would like to have had couple of candles to make maybe the high or the low in here to then find some support because we lack of momentum on a multi-candle retracement. Lack of momentum, lack of piercing or drilling power, right? So if we are having lack of drilling power or lack of piercing power, what happens with the support? The support holds, right? But in this case, no, we had another big body candle to the downside, right? Still, I mean, remember we planned for plan A and plan B. The important part in here is that look at your resistance, look at your support. Both of those held, right? And not only held, they held like a champ, right? So I think this is a win-win, despite it did not win exactly as we planned it, but so far it is playing out nicely, all right? So let's take a look at what's going on from here. This is where we trace and re-attacked, all right? Replan, regroup, and then re-attack, right? And look at that, remember the position that we were expecting? Well, it is a confirmed pivot here. No longer just a hand-drawn line. Just basically a, well, hand-drawn line still, but more professional looking, right? All right, so let's get it here. French Toaster in the house. What is up, bro? Jesse Glue, what is up, my friend? Great to have you around. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. Really appreciate it. All right. Oops. Weird noises. All right, weird noises all around because they're doing remodeling. Sorry, it kind of like I'm not used to it, so in the house, right? So also a new studio. It is weird where the noises come from. not used to it. All right, so you're gonna be seeing me jumping a little bit around here, all right? Frank the Tank, what is up, my friend? Welcome, my friend. Nice to have you here. All right, so we are at support. Are we gonna hold? Ooh, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. Look at our prime score, very low. That's because we are below dynamic reactor. We are about to break out the range. What range? The most immediate range, right? And maybe we can start pulling on some couple of stuff. Again, I have not yet looked at this chart before we met because I want a real reaction from my end, all right? And for you to notice how I tackle real life first look into the charts, all right? So this is my first time since we talked about this since yesterday that I'm looking at Pepe to see how that played out. So let's go and let's see what are we going to be looking at. We have a support, which we already know we had it in there, right? We have then a trend line in here, a much more defined and better trend line. Perfect. That's still something that we need to look into it. We have a reaction zone in here, another support and reaction zone. So far, I'm seeing that the path of least resistance is to the upside. We have empty space in here, and then we have a resistance in here, all right? So does that mean that we're going up? We cannot say it just yet. We need a little bit more information. We haven't even pulled out what our dynamic reactor nor our oscillator in here, whichever oscillator, or if you don't have a dynamic reactor, remember we have the SMA combo. What is the SMA combo? Ooh, it's being broken right now, all right? Technically broken. So let's see. We are pairing between those two, and then we need to go above. Ooh, that might be having, well, we might be having to need some big body candles. Let's bring a couple of other stuff in here before we start calling the shots, right? So what else do we have? We have a resistance in here. We have another resistance in here. Let's bring up something else. This is the support and resistances that we were looking into last time, right? Big order blocks, so soft order block, easier to break. But, and this is a big but, if for some reason we're able to jump in here and we manage to push it through this line, look at this high order block. Remember, they are magnetic, right? And if they are magnetic, they're going to be pulling the price upwards. Let's wrap it up and let's see what our oscillator is telling us once and for all. All right, let's go to the green. All right, perfect. So right here, we're still going downwards. So, and this is what I believe so, right? Let me go first and do my, I don't know, let me just guess in here, not guess, but give my educated guess, right? And I think because of the structure, we're going to go lower into this area of support and then have a retracement. Then we need to look at what's going to happen in here. And if we have some other resistances or supports, well, then we were going to be maybe just making a higher low and then finally going upwards. That will depend on Bitcoin because Bitcoin right now is not looking that strong. All right. But so far, this is what I'm expecting in here. Let's see if I'm right. So far, we're still aiming downwards. We can hold our ground, which that will be desirable, right? And then we need to see a couple of smaller candles, right? Smaller candles, change of color, right? And then that's where we start jumping in for a possible trade. Let's see what else do we have in here. Let's bring up our oscillator. We're losing the zero line. We did have, look at that beautiful flip of the ribbon. It actually happened faster than I was expecting, right? But to my opinion, I believe that we're going to be making something like this, something like that, basically right in here. I cannot tell for sure, but so far, technically, we have lost the zero line, all right? So what's going on? Also, look at that. The next candle, it's blue. Let's bring up our next and most important oscillator. Here it is. Let me double click it. And for some reason, it's just hitting down here for some reason. Oh man, can I not move it? Say what? Why not? Right, maybe, oh God, this is a bug. Holy Jesus. All right, let me just refresh this. Let me save it. Let me refresh this. Let's see if I can, if that can load. Well, in the meantime, let me read you guys. French toaster, Alexander G, what's up? All good, yo. All right, do we have anything here? Hey, they announced where it will be held next year, right? Have they announced Shake White? I don't know. What are we talking about? Not really following here. All right. Not really following there into a conversation. Fill me out in there, guys. All right. I think that we can move it. No, we can't. What's going on? I don't know. This is for, oh, there we go. Freaking finally, man. All right. Now I can move it. All right. I was getting very stressed out of here. All right. And what we got, look at that. The same thing that happened that last time did not allow me to enter for a trade. Remember that I had explained that yesterday? Well, then it's kind of like happening the same thing. So what am I going to be looking for? My strength to go up as I maybe have a diamond. So my next diamond to the upside is going to be for a possible long. That means I can still go lower. All right. So far, aiming to the downside. Where is the next big support? And so far, that support, it is, well, there we go, right here or right there. So far, this is what we got. Let's go and check it out. A couple of other coins. Let's get started from the beginning and let's go top downwards in here. So let's get started with Bitcoin. Bitcoin moving almost exactly as we were expecting, right? This is not from yesterday, this is from 2 days ago. And we are expecting a pullback down to the dynamic reactor, remember? And finally, we are almost there. Guys, what is my oscillator showing me here? That we do have strength. And what is this? Is this bullish or bearish? This is bearish. So we still have strength on the bearishness. Are we gonna hold? So far, seems like it, all right? But we have a very strong trending motion. So what would I like to see? I would love to see a peak performance picking here, right? Usually when I have peak performance, a little bit, this is actually early. So a little bit of a forward movement and then we bounce. So I would like to have between this and the next candle, a diamond of peak performance right down here. Let me show it to you. Something like that, all right? And then start moving upwards. And then what I want to see on my white line, I want to see it moving downwards like that. So have a flip of that white line, a flip of the ADX, all right? So that's basically what I want to see here. So let me do something really quickly. All right, much better. So at this point, I want to see a flip of that line. Why? As I retrace. So let's draw it once again in the side chat. All right, so right here, let me imitate here. So this is what I got. All right, I want to see my diamond here. Right, I want to see the white line. As this goes up until the next diamond, the white line I wanted to see losing strength. So right now it's going up. I want to see it losing strength like this. All right. And when I have my, something like that. And when I have my next diamond in here, like the next diamond, when I have it in here, I want to see my white line go parabolic. Does that make sense? So I have strength on the bullishness, correct? But so far we are holding our ground. I need to see big performance. And when I see that big performance, then I can start looking for a possible entry to the upside. All right. That's what I got for you guys in here. So give me guys with just 1 second. A mosquito is just eating me alive. Right, much better. So, so far we are on support. Are we going to be taking a long in here? Not quite there yet. Yes, we have some sweep of the lows in here, right? But until I put on a higher low and maybe a higher high, that's also based on structure where I want to see my entry. So remember, right now we need to be a little bit patient. We are hitting the target that we stipulated, we thought that we're going to right at now. So that's very fantastic, right? That's fantastic. At this point, this is exactly what we're looking for. Let's go and take a look at what else we have in here. Is it time to start buying? Well, it seems like a DCA has activated, right? Are you willing to maybe risk it? I would say wait for a little bit of couple of more candles, maybe one or two in here, and that will be your estimated possible buy as we have some structure. So that's what I got on Bitcoin. Let's go to TRX just because we have it in there. Let me clear this up, or let's just leave it. We're going to be leaving that for the posterity. So far, we have broken a trend line on the 4 hour. Perfect. Not trend line, sorry. We have broken our dynamic reactor, right? Let's take a look at how is our SMA combo. Doing fantastic so far. How is our setup in here? Very bullish. About to break the bullishness, or about to break the range. Where is the range, or what kind of range this is? It is this range. We're at, well, we are blue. Let's get started using other indicators here. Let's take a look at how our VPVR is looking like, right? Remember, we're looking for shelves in here to hold the ground. So far, it's been holding. So what happens if we go low in here? Well, this is the next area of interest, and we could be counting for maybe a bounce to once again this line which represents this peak, right? So far, I'm not going to be taking any trades, not even this short. And why is that? Because we're still very, very bullish. And despite we're blue in here, well then so far with the information that I got, I'm not willing to take a short. Even I would consider, if we break a retest and do something like that, well then taking a long. Still not for sure. Let's take a look at our oscillators to see how we're doing. We're not doing that bad at all. Look at what had happened in here. It's kind of like the same that is happening in there, right? So let's move and let's take a look at what else we have. Our oscillator, bearish divergence. Next movement should be to the zero line. So let's change now. I want you to notice how quick I am to change my mind. All right. So I'm going from, all right, maybe I can long it if that I have the proper possibilities, to right now, you know what? I need to wait for 1 or 2 more candles. Why is that? Bearish divergence. I'm in the red cloud. Yes, I am on the zero line, but this movement in here, oh man, I've seen it before. You see that? That movement in there, I've seen it before. And what had happened on that movement in here, let's mark it. From this area to this area. Well, it moves slightly to the upside and then big retracement. You see that? Putting up a lower high. So have we put up the lower high there? Ooh, seems like it. I mean, we can still go maybe some higher and put this a high and then put then the lower high, right? So longing this itty bitty part, that wouldn't be for me neither profitable, neither something that catch my interest, right? I mean, I'm looking at least something like that, much bigger. But shorting it from here to there, that's something that I could actually fit into my possibilities of what I'm looking for, all right? So let's see, TRX usually does that opposite. My short has been printing all day with my longs. Nice, brother. They take turns, but that's just a way. Oh yeah, absolutely, my friend. And of course that, and I think you're doing it right. You're doing just counter trading. So you look for one asset to go up and one asset to go down. So you can basically take best of both worlds, right? Amazing, love it. So let's take a look at hashtag F Ethereum. I took a long, let's see, nice. Where do you took it, my friend? Where at? So where do you took the long? Do you took the long that we gave on what? Or did you took just a long and you're gonna about to let me know? Let me know. I'm gonna be reading it and maybe we can go and analyze it. Hey Hugo, what is up, bro? Welcome. I didn't see you there. Frank the Tank. Sorry, back to you. Absolutely. So let's see what else we have. I'm trying to see to catch up with the chat. You took a lungs. All right, so I see. I'm still interested in the 104 700, but I like that 1 hour bullish divergence. Oh, I see. I see. All right, so you're talking about Bitcoin. Nice. So let's go about it says 105 259.7 on bluffing. Love it. Love it. Nice. All right. So this is what we were expecting last time that we analyzed hashtag F Ethereum, and I believe that that was yesterday. And that is because we have our ranging zones. Did that play out? You guys let me know. Did that play out? I think it did, right? So fantastic. I mean, it's still an ongoing trade in this case. We have a bearish divergence, a peak seeker. Usually peak seeker tells me that we're gonna be having a little bit more profound movement that we could be expecting. Let's just see if we hold that zero line. Let's bring up our free indicator, the oscillator. So what's going on in here? Losing strength on the bullishness. Oh, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. Usually when we are going downwards like that, right, we are basically about to change phases. So we just need to look for that diamond changing phases. And then once that happens, I need to see grabbing strength on the bearishness, right, to have a farther move. Where to? This area right here. You know what? I'm actually going to be right clicking in here, locking this, and then finally making an alert. Perfect. So the first thing I'm looking for at that point, it is going to be a possible retracement to then see if we're going to have a dead cat bounce or not, right? So let's leave it as is right now. It's already playing out. So that was a good call out. Let's take a look at Turbo. Fib Wizard. All right, so Turbo, well, not looking that great, and that is because, well, we have already a trend line, a very strong trend line, and we have almost a perfect flat bottom in here. That's not cool. Also, well, look at the strength that we have, right? It is going and pointing downwards. Something that might bring your interest is that the rejection zone on that strength, right? So we are basically on that rejection zone, and that makes sense with our support right down here, right? So we could be expecting to go in here, and maybe if we're lucky enough to have some rejection. But so far, I don't know. It is a high, lower low, lower low, and if we put on here a lower high, I think we could be breaking through. All right, so far you need to be extremely careful with Turbo. Let's take a look at what else we have. Let's add, for example, instead of our VPVR, let's take a look at our ghost trend. Let me change it back, click OK, let it load, and it doesn't shows up. That's fine. That is just how sometimes what it happens based on how Turbo pushes its information, but that's fine. Let's go to the radius trend maybe, and we're on the middle of a downwards movement. We still need for it to consolidate, get some compression, and that means a possible further move to the downside. Look at how it makes some compression, right? And then at the longest part, usually we see a little bit of that retracement. At the longest part, that's why we see a little bit of that retracement, right? At the longest part, that's why we see a little bit of that retracement. So just to keep that in mind, I'll maybe a little bit more downside in that case. Let's see order blocks. Well, we already have it. FIBP, let's take a look at our Fibonacci levels. And also not looking that great, but look at that, our POC, possible target, it is right down here at the support zone, right? So let's wait for that support zone to take some actions, and then we'll see how the strength changes phases, right? So again, I want to see that maybe peak diamond and then losing a strength like that, all right? So what that will do, we'll do a reversal. Although, in full honesty, I think we're going downwards. So be careful right here on Turbo. Let's take a look at Kava now. Oh man, we're going fast today, isn't it? Let's see, guys. Help me out in here. Let me know if you are looking at something. I want to take a look at what you guys are looking at. So maybe we can do a two-way iShare of Ethereum. iShares of Ethereum. So what are you talking about there? Ethereum iShares? I don't know, but let me know, guys, if you guys are looking at something. Maybe something is interesting, moving interestingly, and it's just out of my radar. Let me zoom out first in here. All right, and look at how Kava has dropped some interest, and most lately, much more. All right, I told you guys, Kava not really looking that great for long-term holdings, right? Although, look at our area of entry. We talked about this a long time ago. Let me unlock this. Let's go right. Let me again lock it, and let's see what else we have. Let's zoom in. So far, we are having what it seems to be a flat pause of bearish continuation. Although these pauses could also be for a bullish movement. All right, so what is it, man? Well, we still don't know. But if we see ranging, what do? We buy low, we sell high, right? We buy low, we sell high, high-ish at least. So let's do some trend lines. Let's see if those trend lines get respected in the next upcoming movement. And I'm gonna be doing an alert in this trend line. Why? Because I want to see my oscillator in here. Oh, look at that, strength. We already have a change of phase diamond. We are bearish, and we're having some strength. Strength on what? On the bearishness. Ooh, careful there. All right. So maybe more downside also on Kava. TAO. Let me read you guys. So OC, you look at TIA. Absolutely. Let's look at TIA. And that should be crypto. We don't have it. Oh man. All right. TIA. Same, basically the same. Let's take a look at that a little bit more. I like Ethereum. Nice. All right. Let's see what else. TIA. AIXBT. Ethereum. Have to take a look at Ethereum. Hashtag Ethereum. Love it, JR. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. What was the next one? Man, I lost it. AIXBT. Let's do it. Just so I don't AIXBT up next, right? All right. So far we are on support areas in here. How do I know? Easy peasy. We have bouncing here, we have bouncing here, we have bouncing here. We're on support areas. Something I don't like, it is the same thing that we saw here. We have a change of phase diamond. Of course, it could be as itty bitty as this, but we have a change of phase diamond. And what happens with that change of phase diamond? Well, this looks like it's having some strength. So we need to be patient, although our possible target, it is to the upside. Are we ready to take a long? I wouldn't say so. Let's see what else can we see in here. With the information I got, not quite yet, but we could be close. Look at that. Look at that ribbon. Are we close to flip that ribbon? Maybe. Where are the next support and resistances? Let's see. Do we have any support? Oh, yeah. All right, so maybe some sweep of the lows. That could be it. Flip of the ribbon. And then off we go to the loud order block. Fantastic. Let's bring up a line in here. A ray. Let's put it in here. Let me move it slightly upwards. And then lock it and add an alert in here. Add alert. Perfect. Create. All right. Let's take a look at AIXBT. We did a little bit of a prediction in here. Is it playing out? Not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Look at that. We were looking at it as a possible bullish flag. What happens? We did have the breakout, but it's been pushing lower, man. I don't know. Are we going to make it all the way here before we start pushing upwards? Well, something interesting is that we are already at half of that movement if we measure all the way up here. But we just moved in here. So what is our third of our movement? Let's move it. Let's change it. So half of it, let's just reuse that line. And 1/3 will be somewhere around here, I guess. Let me measure that. Maybe that'll make some more sense. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. All right, that was a perfect third. So are we there? Actually, we're losing it. Not by much, right? We still have that support zone. Let's see if we have something else to hold us. Let me clear this up. All right, let's bring up the rest of our indicator. Let's see, SMA combo, still very low there. What else do we have in here? Let's see, some supports. Yep, we do have a support zone. Oh yeah, absolutely. How did I not see this? Perfect, support zone. Let's take a look at our oscillator. Well, not looking good though. We don't have a change of phase. We can still do one of these mountains, but we are losing some strength. We're still, and this is important, we're still above this line in here, our 0 line, which means we still have some momentum to maybe bring back up, like it happened in here. This is looking promising, nothing special, sorry. And let's see what else we have. Well, another support zone. Let's see how did that compare to that. Not much. Here's where we start seeing, all right, the POC and the predictive ranges. What else? Oh, an order block and dynamic reactor coming strong. All right, so my point is going to be a long position right there, my stop loss right below this low, and then give myself a little bit of a wiggle room, aiming to the previous high. All right, finally, we have a solid possibility here. Love it. Hey, RB Piper, how is it going, my friend? I'm missing you. I'm missing you too, brother. Hopefully you're having a blast there in Vegas, man. I'm working on my passport and my visa. I promise I'm not gonna be missing the next one. Frankie Tan, hey Piper, enjoying the free time? Absolutely, I think he is. Love it. We need to get him a dish from Starling. I'm still making the research. I'm gonna be sending you the research results that I have, but I think you're gonna like it. All right, something interesting in here is that we're having a bullish pennant. Usually that pennant ends up breaking to the upside. Sometimes when we have this, oh, and we got one. Look at that. We do got one in here. You see that? In fact, what I was looking actually, it was something like that. And I was about to tell you, hey, look at that sweep of the low, right? But well, it seems like it is not a sweep of the low. It's just a extended support. So maybe we can have the same thing here. We don't know, maybe with that sweep of the low somewhere around here, taking this and this zones. But the bulk of the support, it is right down there, especially with the order blocks that we have, right? So let's see, FIVP, some support right there. All right, yeah, same zone. Let's aim a little bit higher. There we go. Finding a good setup in there. Erica, welcome. Nice to have you around. All right, let's see what else we have. Let's take a look at gold. One time since I don't see gold. All right, gold not looking that bad, still holding its ground. I think this is a flat pause of a bullish continuation that is going to be taking forever. Let's see, let's draw a box in here, between here and there, and also of course we're going to be drawing our trend line. When are we bullish? When we break out, retest on that peak, also on the volume profile, you see that, and then off we go. That will also most likely match with your dynamic reactor. Let's see what the SMA combo says. Oh, exactly the same zone. Let's take a look at our oscillator. So losing strength on the bearishness. All right, still, that's why we're slightly moving upwards. So if we have a change of phase diamond and then we go up, this is going to be fantastic. So when are we going to be trading this? I would say that if we break out with strength, I'm going to be longing the breakout at half of a position. Why is that? Because I want to grab it, retest, off we go. But sometimes, dear gold, dear Mr. Gold, doesn't like to wait for nobody. Right? So Mr. Gold, all right, just being an a-hole there. So let's kind of like a prevent that. So that's what I'm going to be going. Half of a position at the breakout, big baddie candle, right? And then hold and just hold for if I have a retest or not. Let me just clear this up. Let's do once again the trend line. There we go. Let's lock this. And then let's add our possible scenario here. Long at the breakout, confirm breakout. Stop loss at my dynamic reactor. Give myself a wiggle room. Why not? Let's go here. And then I'm going to be looking for right here, half of an entry. All right. If I retrace, I'm not going to be adding anymore. Because in this trend line, we have broke, retest, off we go, and find we're not making a higher high. You see that? So far, I need that breakout to happen. If not, remember, it's on the breakout. Not right now. Just in case that plays out. All right, let's go and take a look at other one. What about, I don't know, I feel like looking at LTC, Litecoin. Let's see. Do we have any other requests, guys? Add me, Piper Academy, so I can see it. He says, I remember, I have had the worst internet out here over. Yeah, absolutely. I'm witness of that. Not even 1 meg of uploads in, just imagine the downloads. So that was not good, like at all. And I'm run a test and I was hitting 2 megabytes. Lol, dude, that was horrible. I know. All right, and my Orca short, it's gonna be printing later. Orca, I haven't heard about it. Let me do linking here. Sorry, Litecoin. Ooh, I was expecting a further move to the upside because we had a goose head, but look at that, man. It actually played out better of what I was expecting. So going downwards and then high, but it actually nailed it all the way down up there. Something interesting is that, oh no, come on. Litecoin, LTC. All right, here is perfect. Something that is interesting, let me just get rid of everything, is that we have something like a beautiful trend line here that then was broken, and then we're creating another trend line with a flat base right there. So see the breakout or retest? I don't know, still don't know. What we are looking for in here, it is that catch some strength and we're bullish. So are you longing this area? It's hard for me to recommend that because we are below not only dynamic reactor, we're very below our SMA combo. All right, let's see what other oscillator tells us. Yep, we're not soon for a retest. Let's see, do we have some supports? Yes, we have a support. All right, that might change things. And, oh, all right. So I'm not gonna be longing this. Yes, it could go up in here, some resistance, but until I put a higher high and a higher low, I'm not gonna be trying to long this. It's just too dangerous for that long. All right, so let's see if we have something else. Let's take a look at Bollinger Band. So just so you know, guys, tomorrow we're going to be taking a look at Bollinger Bands. It's going to be just one episode. Maybe we can do some practice on them. It's very straightforward, a very simple indicator to use, but very helpful. If you don't know, John Bollinger did create this. The guy's still alive, very well alive. Look at that. And he has a Twitter. So if you're not following him, and am I following him? Yeah, following. Perfect. Go ahead, give him a follow. I think this is one of those legends, modern legends, that do create some outstanding indicators in there. So that is a perfect example. Just so you know, that guy, well, didn't look like whatever I was expecting out of him. Hey, honey, how are you? Hi. All right, so let's call out today's class. We have gone through a couple of assets, right? I think you guys are going to be set up for tomorrow. We need just to keep an eye on Bitcoin, all right? I know I went over a couple of altcoins, but Bitcoin, it's still undecisive in there. Look at those candles, all right? Look at those candles. Yes, indecisiveness, going to the support area, right? I need to see it going inside the order block. We have our first oversold, right? We also have right here almost the diamond peak performance, right? That's what I'm expecting, peak performance. And of course, look at that, some areas of support. So guys, I think this is gonna be more than enough for today. Hey, Mark Dodge, welcome. C-Lux? Seen my C-Lux? No, man, I think you misplaced them. All right, so other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining today. Hopefully you guys are having a great time as I'm having it. Let me know, give me please your review. Do you like more trading? Do you like more education? Would you like me to go faster throughout the chapters? Do you like that we do chapter and then we practice? Let me know the workflow that you guys are looking for to actually, learn it and have, this kind of like one-on-one classes, one-on-one, right? To see and improve on the next setups. So guys, thank you so much for that. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.